are welcome to another edition of The Watchman, a show dedicated to finding actors and the facts behind the news and reporting to you. We do this every week because we are your watchman. My name is Efo Kwasisenyu. Before we introduce you to the topic, let's go for a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll start the show.
Do you want to build your dream home? From land acquisition to finishing anywhere in Ghana? Do you want to revive the life and beauty of your old house? Do you have any property in Ghana that you want it managed for side income? Then look no further. Senko Global Developers Limited is at your service. We offer the following services at affordable rates: building construction, renovation works, electrical engineering, biofuel digester construction, building plan drawing, sales of land and houses, supply of construction materials. We also give you the opportunity to invest in our properties. Call or WhatsApp us on 0201-950-509 or email us on info@senkoglobal.com. You can also visit our website at www.senkoglobal.com. Locate us at the first floor of the Denta Shopping Center. Senko Developers, building for generations.
Thank you very much, and you are welcome back to The Watchman on VTV. My name is Efo Kwasisenyu. Today, we are just looking at a news on allegation of demolition exercise by 6 armed police officers in mask, led by one Mr. Maxwell Agyei Addo. And we've gone to the site to speak with the foreman on the site. Let's listen to that interview.
Oh, bina me mama company, Mariville Estate.
Okay.
Bina me former me ejuma me mama company, Mariville Estate.
Okay. Na mpacho ye hu se o mabubu ewo no ewa ha se unim bibi fa ho.
Wo no de e me na ehye me nsa me ye.
Okay. Anti wu na wo ye adwuma wa ha se.
Anti me ne workers ba Saturday no. Na ye bebe ye ti ye dru ba bi na ka se bo piles be na enwo ye ti ejaye ye. Nti ye no Sunday na ye ba ye bo piles no.
Enu amu be bo piles.
Okay. Share. Enu workers ni nyina ba ye bo piles san share. Ti aye adwuma ni nyina awie kora ma ye de ko. Iti anadwo no be 8 na no na menya akọ se adwuma ne be ye no ya bebubu na msa ya bebubu no se how na me buy ma pa no buy no ya bebubu ma hu obi awa
enti enura be time be na oti asa
8-9 na
8 pm anadwo
na mete report no enti ma nkasa na me frɛ madam no na madam so ono so wate enti we de ye ma de ye nche.
Okay.
Enti ade ye chen na
any na power
na me ba ha ti na me ba betwa pictures e dey asene anti meria eti mbedu ye no na me gusu a me twa pictures na me hu say one of guy wa ko oba na me bisa nsa na nu a ibu ani we no wo na wote ben ha hu me bisa na so wo ha hu say police for mo she police uniform omo no mo she max a mo bua de mo kututuo ene pieces. Into ono kora be question o say na ye de ntina mu police for na mbubu wo ana o mo ka jense won kana ntu won fi wonko nti ma na ye de ono de ofi hoko nti edu ba bi ka na mo pese no ba akoto fom nti e la nti no mo hwehwe pese no ba akoto fom e mo hwehwe o say e financial ye tu nti eto amla no nti no mo hwehwe ya bele ansa na o mu hu nti o mo ye nipa 6
police force 6
na o mo se papa na papa bi so ka mo hu
papa ben
papa ne de yinu de o se land ne ne de no
omo abone de a kire
woni de
na wonim ne din
de papa mi de friend Maxwell Agyei Addo.
Okay.
Nti wono e na o ka mo hu na o bubu ade ntom wie na tipa ade amko
anti omo be yet is 7 police 46
police forces
e na papa na e ka omo
hu 7 inu bubu ade na so okay. Nti ehona mi bisa ne se ne se no okwan no so wo ndi wo de okwadwuma te ma mi bisa nse se nke se bi a se onko ba so onko report obetima akwa no so Ono dey say the oko dwuma nti wo dey mma no dey enkomla. And I'm the mini Agyei oko na dwuma me so because
na o katre we bia o question omo no police for akatre omo baby omo free station omo free
one dey was when we saw omo so omo free ni mo omo ka jense on kana no ntum na won fi onko nti mo no so ye dey fi hoko
okay
nti ono man say ibedi mo ko gina baby na no hwe omo ye omo ye nyina okay
na police for mobile no katre so bia omo kita your friends say police car na omo share car ben
so omo kuta police car mo nante
omo nante buy omo amfaka omo nante okay na omo shishe mask
but
omo ni nyina shishe mask
uniform na show but omo na shishe mask
okay that's it yeah. Okay, well, you have heard what the foreman has said, and according to him, yesterday about 9 p.m. he had a call from a security man over here telling him that the wall that they came to construct, that was Saturday and Sunday morning, have been pulled down. And the information he was also giving was that there were policemen who were actually the one that undertook the demolition exercise. 6 police officers, 6 armed police officers, and according to him, these police officers were wearing masks. They were hooded, wearing masks, so they could not even identify the policemen. And they also alleged that the policemen, the 6 police armed officers, were accompanied by one Mr. Maxwell Addo, who accompanied them, and they came to do the demolition exercise. Now, a little background of the issue is that this Maxwell Addo has been having some, legal battle with the Mariville Estate owner with respect to this particular land, and as to why he has led this demolition, allegedly led this demolition exercise, we are here to find out. But the hooded police officers or the mass armed police officers were coming from before they undertook the demolition exercise is yet unknown. And as to whether or not these police officers had a court order to come and execute here is also yet unknown. We will be speaking to Maxwell Addo to also respond to the allegation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Kosi Senyo, editor of Awake newspaper. Am I please speaking with Mr. Agyei Addo?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm following up on a story that your name was mentioned. So I would like to find out if you have some 3 minutes for us to have a brief discussion.
Yes, please.
Okay. So there's this allegation that on Sunday around 8 p.m. you led a group of 6 armed and hooded police officers to demolish a wall in Mariville Estate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
you know the story.
No place.
Okay. What I'll advise, if you want your peace, I'll tell you the story, but I'm telling you that don't try and make it into the news. Otherwise, the newspaper will be sued for a huge sum of money.
Okay.
Okay, let me tell you the story. About 20 years ago, I bought that piece of land from a woman from the company.
Okay.
Anytime I want to develop it, you come up with your excuse. You can't build a wall. You can't build it. I wanted to build. So it has been back and forth.
Okay.
Then, what happened was 2016, we went to court. And the court told her to give me an indenture.
Okay.
The court, because the court, the judgment.
Okay.
It placed an injunction on her not to step on the land.
Okay.
I tried, even with the injunction on the Accra, when I tried to develop the wall, to build the wall, she came stop me. You understand?
Yes, I'm with you.
even with the court behind me. So I told her that if you don't allow me to build my wall, then you can also build it, because there's even if you go there, in fact, the police are supposed to arrest you. You are supposed to be arrested. The Manet police. You understand? That's the nearest police. So when she started building, I went to break the wall, expecting the police to come for me, because I am a feeble, person with everything. But the police know that I have tickets on the land, and that land is mine. So they could even arrest me.
Okay. Okay.
So the first time this thing happened, then later she has sent a case to court to challenge my ownership of the land.
Okay.
And if you know a bit about law, once a case has been sent to court, an injunction has been placed on any construction work.
Okay.
So why is it that you are challenging my judgment in court and you have gone ahead to construct the wall?
Okay, so if the case is in court and per what you are saying, that is the fact of the matter, why was it that you did not alert the court or informing the court that this is what the woman is doing on the land despite the injunction, and you also mobilize armed police officers to go and cause the demolition?
Have you asked yourself, why didn't the police arrest me? The Manet police come to arrest me for going to destroy someone's wall?
No, what I'm finding out is that you stated clearly that the case is in court.
Let me explain something to you.
Okay.
There are two different houses in the East Estate.
Okay.
The woman built when the case was in court. The construction work has been complete. The case is in court.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So if you want to do the illegal, I also go the illegal way. But in fact, in this one, the armed police that I sent to, I went to the fraud unit at the police headquarters.
Okay. So is the officials that came to demolish the wall together with you were from the property fraud office at police headquarters?
Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
They weren't masked. There was, well, I don't have to even disclose this to you. They weren't masked. There was one person who sometimes come to work in the area. So he was afraid they might see who he is. And he wore a mask, but the police weren't masked. So you see some of these things, what I'm saying is, if you want a judgment that gives me the power to go to the police, I can send you a copy.
No, so the judgment gave you an order that you should demolish the wall.
The judgment gave me an order that anyone who steps on my land is an encroacher.
So
anyone who steps on the land has encroached on my property.
But you also said the same case is being challenged at the Court of Appeal. Is that not the case?
If you are challenging a case in court, the existing judgment is what holds until the case goes through. I was thinking you could rather you could let your lawyers, cite them for contempt. Look, what I'm telling you is, if you want the judgment that
I have a copy of the judgment.
Okay, so if you want to destroy your career as a journalist or your company, just go ahead and publish it. This is the point I'm giving to you. No. So forget what I'm telling you. Don't try and argue with me. No. Why didn't she go to the police and she's gone to the press? Don't try and do this, because what I'm saying is I'll sue you.
No, I went to the police. I went to the police, made a follow-up to the police. Do you get it? But because your name is mentioned, it's fair that I hear your side of the story. That's exactly why.
The land belongs to me. I have received and everything to prove it. And based on that, I have a judgment from the High Court.
Okay. In a copy, the judgment stated that there was this site plan that you filed, which was purported, which was purported to be, done for you somewhere around 2014. And the court judgment, the judge clearly stated that that particular, site plan that you filed in your affidavits on page 11, that it was given to you by the company, couldn't have been the case because the company repossessed the land 4 years before you filed the document.
So what? You haven't read my document. You have read it. You haven't read my document.
Okay.
It's just that you didn't want to use it. Despite that, so that's one that really wasn't granted. But she granted me a relief that the land is still mine. It was legally mine. You haven't seen my judgment.
So the same case, are there two judgments that your judgment is different from her judgment?
What is the title of the judgment you're holding?
Okay. Maxwell Agyei Addo versus Mariville Homes Limited.
Okay. Share with it.
Sorry?
The full title.
The full title?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So a suite number LD/0453/16. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Plaintiff Maxwell Agyei Addo versus Mariville Home Limited as the defendant. Then the judgment. Yeah, so that's the judgment that I have.
Have you read the whole thing?
Yes, I did.
You haven't. If you have read the whole thing, you wouldn't have even called me.
No.
You haven't read the whole thing.
No. What I'm the reason.
You know what?
The reason.
Explain something to you.
Okay.
Have you even gone to the last page?
The last page.
Yes.
Yes.
And what did the last page say?
The whole page. Okay, so yeah, so point it out to me.
Then we read it together. But page 7 is the last page, not so.
Yes, please.
It said the plaintiff went into possession. I'm reading the.
Yeah, but the last two paragraphs.
Yes, the last two paragraphs.
Yes.
The plaintiff went into possession of the land by constructing a wooden structure and putting a caretaker in charge. That the defendant owed a corresponding obligation to the plaintiff to fulfill its agreement by transferring legal title to the subject matter of the sale to the plaintiff. It would be unjust for the defendant put on to the purchase price while depriving the plaintiff of the fruits of his investment. I hereby order the defendant to execute a deed of conveyance covering the land in dispute to the plaintiff forthwith. Have you heard that?
Yes, sure.
The plaintiff paid for damages for trespass, having regard to the undisputed evidence, the defendant's possible re-entry into the land in dispute and destruction of the wooden structure placed on the land by the plaintiff. A damage of 8,000 will be awarded in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is hereby perpetually restrained from interfering in the business of the land in dispute. Having regards to the length of the trial and the cost of legal representation, the cost of 5,000 has been awarded against the defendant in favor of the plaintiff.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
So, what are you talking about?
Yes, so what I'm asking is whether the demolition exercise that took place was the court order, was an order from the court.
That's why you see, your point is you don't understand the law. You are a journalist. What I've read to you is, listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know I'm not a lawyer, I'm a journalist. But I understand, I've been following court processes.
Give it to your lawyer to read it for you.
Sir.
Based on that, to publish my story, yes.
Yes, sir, what I'm trying to find out is that, was this particular judgment executed and for which you based on to do the demolition exercise? That is what I wanted to know.
What do you mean by executed? You don't understand.
When a court gives an order, the judgment, for instance, pass a judgment, I understand that the judgment has to be served on the other parties, and the execution of the judgment is done. And in an event that a party fails to comply with the judgment, it becomes a contempt of court. So in the case...
Maria is in contempt. She's in contempt since 2000.
Okay.
No, listen. She's in contempt now. The thing is, if just now your wall in your house, someone comes to break it, the first place to go is the police station before you go to court. What I'm saying is, secondly, if someone is coming to erect a wall on your land and it's yours, you won't wait and stand and say, I'm going to court. You stop the person from erecting the wall. Then later you start your court process.
No, but does that not mean taking the law into your own hand? Because per my little knowledge is that in situations like that, you let the court do the work. Because with this document you are referring me to, means that the matter now is between the court and the defendant, since the court has ordered that the property or the container on the land be removed. So in the event that the defendant fails to comply with the orders of the court, is an issue between the court and the defendant. Is that not so?
Look, show this court and let him explain to you, so that if you dare publish this thing and you bring my name into it, you'll be surprised.
No, sir.
I'm not. I don't have this thing to argue with you. Someone has come to give you take your time and listen to my side, and don't try and argue to me as if we are in court. I've shown you the court rule and said read the few pages of it. Just now, she's been told it's been restrained from claim my land. Haven't you been restrained?
Yeah, sir.
I will stand aloof.
Sir, is this judgment not the one that they have appealed against?
If you have appealed against my judgment, you go to build on my wall. You go to build.
So is that not a matter between the defendant and the court? Especially if you bring this particular issue of the case being in court, and she has gone ahead to, erect a wall on the land. Is that not a matter of contempt that should be brought, before or to the attention of the court, for the court to give an order that...
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Don't talk to me as if you are standing in court and defending things. Look, two people, they are cases in court. She built on their land. I'm saying that as far as you don't respect the court, I will not respect you. Because the thing is, I had this ruling in 2016. I was waiting patiently for you to give me my indenture. Now you have fled the country because you know that I was going to initiate a contempt proceedings against you. You fled the country and you've allowed your operatives to come and build on the land. I keep quiet and look at you.
So,
I'm telling you, it's a court matter, so please.
So finally,
if you want to publish anything, talk to your lawyer and let your lawyer interpret to you. Because if you publish anything and I give to my lawyers, I'll sue you.
No, the threat, those threats have not come in yet. This is a matter I'm following, and I want your side of the story. But just that I want to clarify things.
You need to read to understand the judgment. You wouldn't have even called me.
Sir, I have...
Because, look, the police we kept this thing to the police headquarters.
Sir, I have clearly read the judgment and even quoted parts where the judge said that the site plan you filed, which is Maxwell Agyei Addo and Mrs. Gifty Agyei Addo. Okay.
Look, that is all you are saying. You are quoting the site plan. Read whether the judgment did.
Yes, I read the judgment, and you tabled in some document. Hello.
She wasn't going to use the site plan because the site plan was a later. You've not given evidence. What are you talking about?
Hello.
It's not to understand.
No,
but the site plan, he didn't even include it in the judgment. And you're saying you read the thing.
No, it's included in the judgment.
I have come to work this morning.
Okay.
Please let a lawyer read so that you would understand.
Okay.
Don't try and interpret it the way you are doing. And don't come and question me as a competent judge. What I'm telling you, if you want to understand the judgment, go and give it to a lawyer for the lawyer to. But don't come and ask me these questions. And I'm saying that if you try to talk them, I'm going to sue you. So the money that they pay to you to do the story, I'm telling you that you are going to forfeit it.
To find out if I was just trying to find out if the demolition exercise you did was a court order, was done on orders of the court, and why was the exercise done in the night?
It was because I traveled and I came in the night and I did it in the night. The first time I did the demolition, it was the day when I got to work. When I got from work, I was told, and I went to demolish the first time. That's when I traveled and came to in the night. If I had come in the morning, I would have done it in the morning.
Okay, so you filed the case at the property fraud unit at the headquarters, and they gave you the 6 police officers. Is that right?
You know what? Hello.
Hello, sir.
I won't continue with this conversation.
So you have heard the long interview, which is actually over 30-minute interview I had with Mr. Maxwell Agyei Addo, but I just played part to you. You've heard. Now, I quickly call Madam Mariam O'Sullivan, who is currently based in Dubai. The first question I put to her was that why is it that she actually appealed in the case of Mr. Maxwell Agyei Addo and Mariville Estate, yet she has gone ahead to actually start a war on the parcel of land or the disputed land. What she told me was that that particular judgment made no reference to any specific land under dispute, and her justification was that at the time that she has sold the land to Mr. and Mrs. Agyei Addo, which is 2 plots of land, they have refused to sign a lease agreement, saying that there are some components of the agreement which they do not agree with, and for that matter, they will not sign. And according to Mariam O'Sullivan, Mrs. Agyei Addo told her that she, Mrs. Agyei Addo, is actually a lawyer, and for that matter, she was going to draft their own agreement for Maria O'Sullivan to sign, but Maria said that she has declined that offer, and this made them inability to actually take possession of the land document. So at the time that Mr. Maxwell Agyei Addo was filing the case in court, he actually had no document to show. Rather, he had tendered in a site plan, which happened to be a site plan they themselves created and not a site plan she has given to them, because she hasn't given any document covering the land to them. According to her, immediately they paid for the land, the 2 plots of land. They started developing one. Now, the other plot of land, which is now the center of the dispute, the couples actually erected a wooden structure on that particular parcel of land, and then that wooden structure were occupied by the relatives of Mr. and Mrs. Agyei Addo, and according to her, they were selling banku and akpetesi, in that is alcohol, in the estate in that wooden structure. So it took her a very long time, and it took the intervention of the assembly to be able to remove those structures and also evict those occupants of those wooden structures. Now, according to her, because she didn't give them that particular site plan, and the court detected that the site plan that Mr. Agyei Addo had exhibited in his witness statement on page 11, the court said that that particular site plan couldn't have been given to him, Mr. Agyei Addo, in 2014, when in fact the defendant, which is Mariville Estate, had taken possession of the land in 2010. The court also said that Mr. Agyei Addo, which is the plaintiff, might have created that particular site plan himself in contemplation of litigation. Meanwhile, Mr. Agyei Addo stated in his witness statement on page 11 that that particular site plan was given to them by Mariville Estate. So that is why Madam O'Sullivan said that no, because the document, the judgment never made any specific reference to any land. She is going ahead to take, to erect walls to protect the land she has actually repossessed in 2010. Those were some of the, response from Maria O'Sullivan. Now, it will interest you also to know that Maria O'Sullivan has also filed a petition to the police calling for the arrest of Mr. Agyei Addo, alleging that he had engaged in forgery and perjury, meaning that that particular site plan that he told the court that was given to him by her company, which is Mariville Estate, is actually not true, which the court has even found out itself that is not true. And also, since he had done that under oath, meaning he had committed perjury and that he should be arrested. Now, the other leg of the case is when this wall was demolished. According to Maria O'Sullivan, when the wall started, they actually started erecting the wall somewhere about last 2 weeks or last 3 weeks. And Mr. Agyei Addo broke the wall. After they demolished the first wall, now the wife of Mr. Agyei Addo, which is Mrs. Agyei Addo, went to file a complaint against her company herself and her PA, who is Kwesi Okanse, at Manet police station, saying that they have trespassed on their land. And according to Maria O'Sullivan, the Manet police invited them, that is the lawyers of the company and then the couples. But at that meeting, the couples could not produce any document. Because of that, they had no option that to go ahead with this particular exercise. So on 27th of March, they have started reconstructing the fence wall. Now, after the reconstruction, which they finished on 28th, on Sunday, then Mr. Maxwell Agyei Addo, now, like you heard him in the interview, he said he brought the police officers from the police headquarters after a case had been filed of trespass at the police headquarters. And the information, our investigation revealed that during the day, Mr. Agyei Addo actually brought these armed officers to his house. And when it was late around 8:30 p.m., they now came out to actually engage in the demolition exercise. This is a developing story. Tomorrow, we will continue with more detail and more revealing about this particular story. My name is Efokwashi Senyo. Have a good night.